Okay. Don't you fuck me over, Chris. I got a pristine, you know, what's the word? I can't even think. Pristine image to uphold. Okay. Don't catch me saying any bad words. I haven't beat the game yet. I have all 8 badges. I had to get them because if you don't have all 8 badges, I had to do it so I could catch some of the Pokemon I wanted. Depending on what level they are, like if they're too high a level, you have to have more. You have to have more gym badges to catch them. Yeah, it tells you, like, if you go on your My Card or whatever, it says trainer can catch a Pokemon up to level, you know, whatever. They give you a Master Ball to catch it, but I wouldn't do that. I would save the Master Ball for like a really rare Pokemon or something. Yeah, I have one. I've got one. It's on Twitter. It's a dragon. People, the masses filing in. That's the name of the Pokemon, dude. It's Dreepy. Dreepy. He's a dragon ghost. Yeah, he's pretty good. He's like one of the fastest Pokemon in the game.
So anybody's listening right now, you're gonna see this stuff for just a quick second, but I'm gonna have to fix this on stream because my stuff wants to just be this. So I'm about to switch over to me and the guest. Yeah, so we're gonna fix this on stream. Oh well, there it is. There it is. Okay, well it's just mess it up, but let me turn my mic up, make sure y'all can hear me. If y'all can hear me and everything like that, we've got a special guest here. But today we're here with episode 4 of the Vault 13 podcast. Sorry about that iffy intro if you heard anything. We have the one and only Jake in here. We'll get to him in just a moment. But today we're going to talk about Pokemon Sword and Shield, since we've had about a couple of days to almost a week to play the game. We're going to talk about the Game Awards and the nominations because I feel like it'd be something fun to talk about because there was a lot of stuff on Twitter yesterday about it, and a lot of people going positive, negative, in the middle, all this stuff, And also, we're just going to talk about a little bit about, since we're wrestling fans here, and this isn't just a gaming podcast, we're going to talk a little bit about the WWE with Survivor Series coming up, maybe discuss some of the matches and just some things we like about WWE and maybe dislike. So we're going to have fun, but anyway, we've got the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, the man who beats me as Palutena in Smash every chance he gets. Jake, how's it going?
What's up, buddy? I don't like doing it, but I kind of do. So I'm gonna keep doing it every chance you give me.
Yeah, so how's life treating you? What you been playing?
Life's all right, man. I've been digging into a lot of Pokemon. I have not played anything but Pokemon since midnight on Thursday. Uh, so yeah,
Yeah, I've got it right here on my screen right here. I'm playing it a little bit too.
dude, I was doing just like when the stream started, I was doing trades.
Yeah. So yeah,
Guilty,
how's
guilty.
everybody in the chat doing? Let's see what the chat's saying. And Jakin is the special guest, Brian. Let's go. Awesome guest, Chrislevi13. Very good choice. Stitch says, "Is that Andy Milanakis?" William, I ain't heard Andy Milanakis in like years.
Is that Andy Milanakis?
William Armstrong, hey, can I join? Maybe one day in the future you'll be able to join. So yeah, and everything else is just saying hi to everybody. So hopefully everybody in the chat's doing good. We're here to talk about Pokemon, which I have actually pulled up some. I don't usually do this, but I pulled up some stuff about Pokemon on Forbes, and it says Pokemon. Here is the truly impressive thing about Pokemon Sword and Shield. First week sales. That a Pokemon game beat out Jedi the Fallen Order in both their opening weekends. It shouldn't be a massive shock. Star Wars is a massive draw, no doubt, but there's simply no understanding the power of the new Pokemon title, particularly in the post-Pokemon Go era, as well as the Nintendo Switch era. But if you look a bit closer at the UK sales, Japan, and all that, the game sold massively. Which is no like that the game was gonna sell because it's the first mainline Pokemon on a home console. It's not a traditional home console, being that it's a hybrid. It can be on the go. Still have that portable aspect that Pokemon's always had, but you have it on the home console. So I think the sales are good. So I want to throw it over to Jakin for a moment here, since he's a lot farther in the game than I am. So what do you think about your experience with the game so far and the game having massive sales? Did you expect that?
It's funny because people will they'll bitch and moan about stuff, and they'll complain and they'll say they're not buying it, but the second they start seeing people having fun playing Pokemon, they're gonna buy the game. It's the first Pokemon on a home console. This is what people like me have been waiting for 10 years at least.
Yeah.
I think it's a fun game. It's definitely not perfect. It's got a lot of stuff that they can do better. I found a lot of graphical glitches and just weird little blips in the game, but overall it runs fairly well. The online, when you connect in the Wildlands, is pretty laggy, but that's Nintendo.
Yeah.
Okay, you can't really do anything about that. I'm just having a lot of fun, man. I'm collecting a lot of Pokemon, filling up my decks. Currently, my Pokedex is at 100, and I think I was at 172 or 173.
Wow, that's crazy.
So, so that's it's all right. I'm trying to. I want to get at least half the Pokemon, and then maybe I'll
Yeah.
chill out.
Currently in my Pokédex, I've caught 30 Pokemon and seen 83. So yeah, I'm enjoying the game. I just beat the second gym, which is the water gym, and I didn't expect it because I didn't know about Pokemon games if it was in previous versions. But when you walk in there, you have these little things like you do like the first one you go into, and you're just like you're on a farm. You're getting the sheep into the park to go to the next one and fight the next little dude.
Yeah, yeah, that was actually it. The gym challenges are interesting. There's a few that are. I don't want to spoil you. What do you have Shield?
Me, yeah, I shield.
Okay, so we're gonna have two different gyms, number 4 and number 6. Now, I don't know if the gym challenges are gonna be the same, but 6 was a little annoying, and good luck, Chris. If you, it's like annoying. So have fun. Hopefully, it's different for you. Um, but the only gym challenge that really reminded me of the older games was the water gym with the kind of pseudo puzzle with the valves and everything like that,
Yeah.
which was fine. I mean, I kind of wish more gyms were like that instead of like some of them are really easy, which is fine. But I like a good puzzle. I don't know
Yeah.
about you.
Yeah, it's understandable to like a good puzzle. Well, I obviously haven't played a Pokemon game in a long time, so I never knew this was either. I thought you just go in the gym and you go fight and you go find the leader after maybe one or two people before them, and then you fight them. But no, it's a little. It makes it a little bit more fun going in there because you can't just go. Oh, I want to go in there with my strongest Pokemon and fight them. You actually got to go around. You know, it's like I'm not gonna spoil like any later part of the game because I've seen some later in the game through the game leader streaming and all that. But I'll just say the second gym you go to, the water one. There is one person in there that if you wanted to, you could almost like skip them. But eventually, you actually got to go by that person, first person sitting there, and you've actually got to have a fight with them. You know. So I'm like, because I walked by them real slow, and I'm like, they didn't see me. And then the next time, I was like, oh, I gotta go get that valve again because I did the wrong one, and then bam, they got me, and I'm like, okay, I'm liking it. You know, I gotta say on the same thing as Jake, and I do see some of the graphical things in there that could be a little bit more smoother. But to see a Pokemon game back on mainline consoles selling well in U.S., Japan, and in Europe, and being the top selling game currently, even over Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which is from what I've seen from your player two and other people, is an amazing game. It's really really awesome to see. So see what people in the chat. What do y'all think about Pokemon? Yeah, it says I'm terrible at the game. Brian says I'm terrible at the game, but it is very enjoyable. Chrislevi13 is a true Pokemon master, and that's facts. I don't know if I'm a true Pokemon master. I've only got like 30 Pokemon. You know, it says most of it is pure linear. Brian Flay, that's a good point.
Yeah, one thing that this game is like noticeably missing is there's no real caves that you get lost in.
Oh, could you get lost in caves in past games?
Oh, for sure. Especially like the gym before or the cave before the final four, like in Alpha Sapphire and not Alpha Sapphire. Sapphire and Ruby. I didn't play Alpha Sapphire. But yeah, there's more caves that you can get lost in. You have to use TMs like strength and stuff like that to move boulders, almost similar to Zelda Link's Awakening, where you have to move stuff around.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes like as a kid, it would take me like 20-30 minutes to get through that cave.
Yeah. Yeah, so they took some of so what I'm getting from what you saying and also what I've seen is they took a few things out to seems like to make the game a little bit more approachable, easier for people to get in. Do you see them because you know more about Pokemon. Do you see them maybe in the next mainline Pokemon game that's on the Switch or the next version of the Switch, maybe in 3 to 4 years, seeing them putting in some features that they took out back into the game and maybe putting in the national decks finally?
Well, the next Pokemon game is going to come out next year, but it's not going to be a new generation. It's going to be a remake. The next Pokemon games that are set to be remade are Diamond and Pearl Gen 5.
Oh,
So,
so
I mean, if they just remake those, then I mean, they'll use a lot of the same puzzles and everything like that from those ones.
yeah. So when you talk about it, is it gonna be like a full remake, or is it gonna be something like where they did like Let's Go?
No, 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 no. They've done these remakes like I said before, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, Fire Red, Leaf Green. Like they've done remakes before. They redo the entire game. It's not like they they don't like in the past at least they don't dumb it down like Let's Go. That was more of like a cash grab to attempt to bring in the
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
population from cell phones.
Yeah, because from whenever I'd never played Let's Go, I thought about buying it, but I didn't have a Switch. And then when I did get my Switch, I still thought about buying it because I thought, hey, it could get me into the world, let me learn more about it. But then I saw the way that Josh of Your Player Two talked about it, and he said it was kind of like an approachable honor. If you play people that play Pokemon Go, which is on their phones for free, and then you had Let's Go, which kind of took that and then a kind of like what they've been doing on the mainline games, a little bit of that, put it together, and then you've got this one, which actually is a mainline game, is out there. You got new Pokemon and all this, which I've heard, which I saw a tweet that somebody said there's close to 100 new Pokemon. It was the Pokemon that are took out. So people are complaining about the national dex, but I'm like, if they're giving you this much, then hey, that's something I really like. And I'm really happy that the sales of the game are going good. I love getting on here talking to Studio Nintendo, you, Jake, and seeing the game looters, which Dom beat the game already. So yeah, he was grinding.
And he was taking his time, dude. He has like, gosh, he has over 60 hours.
Whew.
So I mean, 60 hours, probably 20 of them are shiny hunting,
Yeah.
10 of them are doing
Yeah.
raids.
I was like, listen to some people in Discord and stuff like that. They're saying they're beating the game in 3, 4 days. And I'm like, man, if I had that time, if I had the time, I could do that. But man, I don't.
It's not it's a fairly the game allows you to really take your time. And I've spent a lot of time shiny hunting and breeding and doing raids and just looking for rare Pokemon, you know, crouching through the grass. And but then when I want to, I can run through 2 gyms over the course of like 25 minutes, half an hour.
Yeah, that's something I've noticed a lot. And there's one thing about the game that it's kind of annoying to me, but then I realize they're kind of making him your rival. Is Hop, because
I
he's
hate
always
Hop.
there every time you go out somewhere. Oh, Hop's there. And what's bad about the game is that every time you face Hop, so far that I've faced him the 3 to 4 times, I'm always so much higher than him, and then I go fight him, and he throws out his Wooloo or something like that, and I'm just like, boom, his
Yeah.
Grookey, boom, and then gone. And I'm just like, that was like no reason for that fight. He was no.
Yeah, dude, it's not a hard game. Like you can I don't I've swept every gym with one Pokemon.
Dang.
Like I'll use like a certain Pokemon like oh it's the it's the rock gym. Well, I'm just going to use Gastrodon. Like I'm just going to use a water Pokemon.
Yeah. That's what I did in the water gym. Like after I went through there and I got to the thing, I was just using my Letrike or however you say him,
Yeah.
and I just used him and I was like, hey, he's my lowest level Pokemon. He's level 20. Let's use him. And then I walked through there, Thunder Shock, Thunder this, that, boom. I was done. Everybody like one KO.
And I guess it's easy to say that the game's fairly easy, but it's easy to say it's easy. But that's coming from the perspective of people that um, have played Pokemon games at least a little bit and understand type advantages and everything like that.
Yeah.
Because if you're like a kid or if you're like 8 or 9 and this is your first Pokemon game, you don't understand that like a fairy type is going to kill a dragon. Like
Mm-hmm.
you don't know that, and they kind of throw it in there to tell you, oh, not effective, very effective, and yeah, that makes it kind of like way too easy, for someone like me or you or Dom or. But
Yeah.
at the same time, like you can't remember like it's hard to remember everything. It's hard to remember if dark is effective or normal against like steel.
Yeah. It's like
So
yeah, it's like for me, like I obviously there's like you go see certain Pokemon come out there, and you obviously know you got a grass type Pokemon. I have my Grookey, my Score Bunny. You know, obviously he's going to do better against him. You know, but now learning about like the darks and the fairies and the dragons, now that's a little bit more complex for me because I'm not big into Pokemon. You know,
they, I think they brought fairies in like Gen 6 or
yeah.
something.
Which I do have my little. little
So cute.
Yes, I got him. I got him the other day, and I was like, yeah.
Dude, I love Score Bunny. He's a killer.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I like his. I haven't got him to like his third evolution, but I'm on his second evolution, which is can't say the name because I'm bad at saying Pokemon.
Reboot.
Yeah, I
Reboot.
like how it looks. Looks like the Pokemon just standing there like in a jacket, just like yeah, I'm ready.
He's chilling, bro.
He
He's
just
chilling, ready to kick some ass. He's a bunny ninja
yeah, and
who
he and you go in there, man. You go against a Wooloo, or you go into the water, or being the grass gym, and man, you can just wreck house with him. Especially when I used him to be the one that I think I Dynamaxed him one time, and man, he just wrecked house on the wild area. I'm just like, okay,
yeah. Yeah, he's good. I still oh I mine is level, I think he's level 55 or 56. And I use him all the time, like in raids and stuff like that, because he's just strong.
yeah. Now, one last little point I want to hit is, as people like me, I come into the game knowing that the villain or like the bad people in the game are Team Rocket. Now, this game they kind of throw in this Team Yo, which I'm still learning more about them. What do you think of 'em?
Uh it's funny, dude, because I'm so used to having like there's a clear antagonist. There's someone that like they're the bad guys. Whereas Team Yell, it's almost like yeah, they're annoying, but I kind of like, kind of respect them a little bit because they like Marnie that much. They like her enough to like fight people for her and stuff like that. So
Me?
it's like it's not really that they're the bad guys. They're more of like a slight annoyance.
They're just loyal to like, hey, I'm just loyal to her. To a
Yeah,
fault.
pretty much. They're just like a fan club,
Yeah.
and I can relate because I have a fan club,
I don't
Brian.
think I don't think I think I've seen her like one time, but I don't really know what to think about her because I don't haven't interacted with her. What do you think about her character?
Dude, I like her. She's actually one of the more. She's like pretty laid back and like she's a little. Uh, she gains confidence throughout the story,
Yeah.
but you'll see. But I like her, dude. A lot more than the other characters in the game. Like Hop, I fucking hate Hop. If I could reach into the game and like smack the crap out of him and send him back to his room, I would because he is so annoying and he's weak and he goes through like I don't know if you're there yet. I don't want to. He goes through like identity crisis and stuff, and they try and make him like a deep character. Like
I just I'm just sorry. I just don't like the way his character is, the way he looks, and the way that every time you come out of somewhere, you expect you can
you
always
still,
predict that he's gonna be there before you get to anywhere in the game. It's like, and then like you talk to other people, like where's Hop at? Oh, he went off before me. Yeah, not much before you. You're just around the next corner. Hop's there. Come on, let's have another battle. See how much we trained.
yeah. Let me use my same basic ass Pokemon. It's like, why
Wow,
don't you get some? Like, why don't you bring something real to the
it's
table,
like
Hop?
to me, I made a comment like to myself. I was like, he didn't catch no Pokemon. He wants to be like his brother and be all big and strong. But yet those are the Pokemon his brother gave to him.
Yeah,
And I'm just like,
he's he's chasing shadows, bro. Stitch made a good point, and he said what do you say? No real notable trainers to face outside the gym leaders, which is very true, except for the man woman thing that wears like the pink. She's just a like I don't know if it's a boy. I think it's a boy. He's a bitch. I hate his guts. He's such an asshole, which I guess is the point. But I don't want him in the game. Like when he disappeared. Oh fuck. Excuse me. Well, spoiler. Well,
Okay, spoilers don't bother me, but for everybody else, if you want to reference it, you can, but you don't have to.
he's an asshole, dude, and I hate him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like him, Stitch, but shoot, he's a dick.
Yeah, well, pretty
Uh,
over much. It looks like this game is very, very, very good, even with the graphical things in the game that could have been maybe, even if they weren't trying to get like perfect on the game, they could have smoothed a few things out. It looks like the gems are fun, and I can't wait to explore the game because right after this, I'm going to be playing more of it. You know, and I got tomorrow off, which means I get to spend at least 5 hours on the game tomorrow. So I'll probably get through a couple of gems. But good to hear what Jake and Thanks get. Good to hear what Brian and also Stitch think about the game. I got to give a big shout out to Stitch. He did the logo for the Vault 13, which you see right at the beginning and down there and below, because people were suggesting me get my own scenes outside of using the regular scenes that I use for my streams for this. So I decided to go out there and try something new. You know, and this is still a new thing, so I'm still figuring this whole podcast thing out, but people have been so supportive of it, so I appreciate everybody being here. You know, because I like being on the Game Leaders podcast. I like being on the Chill Squad cast, but I'm not there every week, you know, so I know I put it out to people, hey, maybe I'll like do my thing, and then so many people were like, hey, do it. So let's do it. Now we're going to get into something that is kind of controversial. You know, because people want to talk, because I'm going to close this one tab. People want to talk about the Game Awards. Oh, the big surprise they have there, the big thing this. Well, we don't know if Jeff Keighley was in on this or not, but a lot of these nominations, whether it be for Game of the Year, Game Direction, Game Narration, I'm just gonna go through a handful of them, and then me and Jake can get talking about it because I want to hear his thoughts on the whole Game Awards and the nominations. But as I got pulled right up here on IGN, it says for Game of the Year they've got Control, Death Stranding, Super Smash Brothers, Resident Evil 2, which is the first remake that I know has ever been put up there. Then you got Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, and the Outer Worlds. You've got Game Direction, Control, Death Stranding, Sekiro. The same games again, you know, except for the one. It's instead of the Outer Worlds, it's called the Outer Wilds. People get that mixed up. It's actually more of an indie game, the Outer Wilds, which is on the Xbox. It's a decent game. Then you got Best Narrative, which is a Plague's Tale, Innocence, Control, Death Stranding, a game I've never heard of called Disco Elysium, and then the Outer Worlds, and just a couple other ones that I might want to hit on is Best Music Score. You got Cadence of Hyrule, Death Stranding, Devil May Cry 5, Kingdom Hearts 3, and some other game I can't read, but it's called Sane Wild Hearts. But a lot of these things, man, I just didn't expect some of these games, like the Game of the Year. There's so many other games that you could put up there that I thought might have been there. But, yeah, it's a lot to talk about, a lot to digest. So I'm going to throw it over, back over here, throw it over to my good buddy Jake. And what did you think whenever you saw the announcement of the Game Awards and some of the nominees for like Game of the Year and other things?
I thought that it was. It reminded me of last year where God of War and Red Dead were nominated for everything.
Yeah.
Except for those were good games.
Yeah. This year.
Now we have Control and Death Stranding, a game that half the people fucking hate, and then the other game, no one even knows what the fuck it is. They've heard of it. They're like, "Oh, I've heard of Control." Probably haven't played it.
Yeah.
If they look it up on Metacritic, it has an 81. Does that sound like something that should be nominated for Game of the Year?
Not in my books. I mean, people hear Control and they think, oh, well, we know the studio, what they did. They did Alan Wake and all these older games, but then they can't really say Control. Even if they haven't played it, do they reference any of the trailers from E3 or nothing? No. And it's like, that game's there?
Yeah, dude, it's funny because it's nominated for everything. Like, I think it has like 8 nominations, and Death Stranding has 9 nominations. Why is a game? I'm sorry, Death Stranding. If half the people that have played it hated it, why is it nominated?
Yeah.
There's so many better games, and then Resident Evil 2 is a remake. I don't think it should be up there. I think Fire Emblem Three Houses should be up there. The fact that there's less representation by Nintendo in the Game of the Year category and also RPG of the Year category uh, is pretty pathetic, considering that those games sold better than some of these other games on a smaller install base on a single platform.
Yeah. I mean, you got to think about it. I mean, I'm going to get into the Game of the Year thing in just a second, but you got to think about Nintendo this year had way more hits than any other console out there, Xbox and PlayStation. The summer was Super Mario Maker 2, Marvel's Blast 3, Fire Emblem, Astral Chain. You've got Luigi's Mansion. You've got Pokemon. You got all this stuff that comes out, but yet none of them get hardly anything. But then you got Super Smash Bros., which I'm cool with Super Smash Bros. Being up there. You know, it's a great game. But I feel like if you want a game with actual story and all this, you could have put Astral Chain, you could have put Fire Emblem up there in Game of the Year, and I would have been more pleased than Super Smash Bros. Because I could have gone in fighting game, which and I think, hey, go win that.
I think Smash Brothers is in best fighting game, which is another thing because a lot of people say it's not a fighting game, it's a party game,
Oh,
which
let me see. There I
which
got.
I disagree. I think it's a fighting game if you make it a fighting game. It's one of those games that it is what you make it. If you want to make it competitive, it's one of the best competitive games on the planet. The the scene for it is one of the biggest fighting game scenes that you'll find. But at the same time, you can sit down with your cousins or your kids and play four person Smash with items on, and it doesn't feel like a fighting game. It feels like Mario Kart, but you can spray people with fire.
True. And the thing about it is if you go to best fighting game, there's Dead or Alive 6, Mortal Kombat 11, Samurai Showdown, Super Smash Bros., and Jump Force. Jump Force.
Jump Force, dude. Jump Force is the control of fighting games. Like Jump Force, like that is ridiculous.
Yeah, and then it's like even when you say Fire Emblem, Fire Emblem barely got anything in the Game Awards, and it's one of the best games of the last year. And I'm talking about this time all the way to last year, and it's not even in best RPG.
I know it's in best strategy game,
And that's
which
what's
is
yeah. Yeah, not to butt in, but somebody said on a joke on Twitter, they said, did they make a thing called Best Strategy RPG just so Nintendo can put some of their games in there, like Fire Emblem? Because I'm just thinking, why don't you have it in the RPG? It's like,
yeah, dude. It's just as much an RPG as Dragon Quest. It's just a different kind of RPG.
yeah,
And Monster Hunter Iceborne is a fucking action adventure. Fuck! That shit is so annoying to me because Monster Hunter won RPG of the year last year at the
yeah,
Game Awards, which
mm-hmm.
was horse shit. It like, and I don't even think did Octopath. I don't even know if Octopath got nominated last year. But these Game Awards are a joke, dude. It's industry biased,
Yeah,
and
yeah. Feel free to give your real thoughts on what you think about the whole Game Awards.
it's stupid, dude. Like the Game Awards to me is more about the announcements and like just celebrating the gaming industry as a whole. But I don't give any merit to the awards,
Yeah,
which is kind of hypocritical because I am annoyed that people didn't get nominated, but I'm not annoyed. I'm annoyed for the people that worked hard on the games and aren't getting the recognition they deserve. The people like Koei Tecmo and Nintendo deserve awards for Fire Emblem. Like it's a really good game. They deserve more than what they've got for it. You think the people that made Control deserve to win 3 or 4 awards just because they're nominated for 8?
I don't think so.
No.
I mean, even if I had a PlayStation or even wanted to get that game Control, it just didn't look like my style of game, and I just didn't think it see it game there. It looked like to me like a very good, great double A, not triple A, but double A game that was solid. Put it out there, sell it, get the people that like that style of game. There you go. Fire Emblem was a game that people that didn't even play Fire Emblem, but had a Nintendo Switch, bought that game and enjoyed the world, enjoyed the aspects of the game, from the strategy to the school and everything. And that's something that you don't see a lot of times. For at least for me, that there's games that have this longevity that throw people like this. Pokemon games bringing so many people back into the world, and the Game Awards for me, it's just like it's cool to see the announcements. It's cool to see all this. It's cool to every year be able to say, hey. But when Jeff Keighley has the biggest gaming awards show of the year, bigger than the Golden Joystick and all these other ones they have, it's just certain games I'm like, Borderlands 3, it's not as good as 2, but it's still a solid game. Could it have gotten a few more things? Where's Astral Chain? Where's Fire Emblem getting a few more awards? Fire Emblem, even on the music part of it.
Oh yeah.
Because you got to think the music, man. When I'm going to reference a fellow YouTuber, Studio Nintendo, he did stuff for that. That stuff was banger, and I looked up the tracks itself. Those got so much views and so many people listening to just the music of that game. And games with great music are getting like nothing. It's like, okay, what are you doing with the Game Awards? Are you sitting there just trying to get favor with people that you like in the industry, Jeff Keighley? Because I can see that he's not in on it, but at the same time, if he's not in on it, who's the one that actually, if anybody knows, actually says, hey, these games are the ones that are going to be nominated for Game of the Year, for this, for that? Is there a board of people out there to do it?
I think there is, but at the same time, it's hard uh, to think of it without like attaching Keeley's name to it, especially when he's in one of the fucking games.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, especially over the last year, whenever you see how I can't say his name, Kojami got so buddy with him in the last year, and then he releases the game, and then his game has like the most nominations.
Yes, and also I was watching, I think it was Spawnwave this morning, and he mentioned something that I did not know. It's that 505, one of the workers on Death Stranding, they're the ones working on Control for PC.
Ah, so we're working on a version of it for PC. And then Slayer comes here. I just read his comment. It said Nintendo does have its own category. It's called Best Family Friendly Game. It's literally all Nintendo games. And I've scrolled on my phone, so I didn't have to keep clicking on my thing. And yes, it is. It's Luigi's Mansion, Ring Fit Adventure. Ring Fit Adventure got an award. It's getting nominated for an award. What? No. You got Super Mario Maker 2, Super Smash Bros., and Yoshi's Crafted World. I'm like,
That's such like, to me, dude, that's a slap. Like that's a backhanded compliment. Oh, you got the most family friendly games. It's like, um, fuck you guys. Wait till Bayonetta 3 comes out. Wait till Metroid Prime 4.
yeah.
You're not going to be saying family friendly as those sell. Bayonetta's probably going to sell, not great, but it's gonna still get representation, and then Metroid Prime 4 is gonna sell the shit out of it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna read some of these comments. I'm gonna scroll back up a little bit here. It says, okay, so I'm gonna go up here. Iceborne is a fucking DLC. Yes, we can cuss on this show. This is not for kids. With all the changes in YouTube, I am not kid friendly.
It is a DLC.
It is a. I mean, if that's a DLC, then shouldn't it be able to go? Shouldn't it go into like those online games that they do for Final Fantasy all the time? That's greatest ongoing game, or whatever they call that award.
Because I don't even know how they categorize that shit, because they put Apex in action game. It's a fucking online shooter.
Yeah, it is. Okay, then you go down and says, did Xenoblade 2 get any noms before? I don't think so. Wasn't that a game that was like snubbed because of when it came out?
It was, well, yeah, because what happened, it came out at a similar time as You know how
Smash.
Smash Brothers came out in early December in 2018. Xenoblade 2 came out in December of 2017, and it got snubbed for a lot of people said soundtrack RPG of the year, um, stuff like that. So you know,
Yeah, and then
Nintendo's always getting
yeah,
the short end of the
yeah.
stick.
Misclick and Modern Vintage Gamer tried defending the Game Awards and Jeff Keighley when I called out how fraud the Game Awards have been. For real, VC, like how Fire Emblem Three Houses, Astral Chain, and so many games and developers deserve awards. Control and Death Stranding on PC are being published through 505 Games. Rigged. Konami is an advisor on the Game Awards 2019 panel. Rigged. Okay, then I already read the one Slayer said, but then Fire Emblem has got absolutely snubbed. Y'all know I ain't even a huge Fire Emblem fan at all. Fire Emblem 3 would have had 4 to 5 nominations if the most popular game of the whole summer. Music category is a travesty. And then Lit comes in here. So what's up, everybody doing here? I just want to give everybody a little bit of round of applause for being in here.
I'm so happy.
But yeah, we're not gonna talk too much longer on this topic because man, it's just like the game. It's like I just
It's a fucking joke.
yeah. I mean, if I scroll back up on my phone because I didn't want to go back to the screen, I could see Sekiro and the Outer Worlds being Game of the Year, and maybe even Smash Brothers. But I feel like Smash Brothers, you could put that aside and put Fire Emblem for Nintendo or Astral Chain, and it'd be better. I feel like you could put something like Metro Exodus or Borderlands up there for Game of the Year. Those games were phenomenal because when I played Metro Exodus, it felt like I'll be honest with you. If people that like Fallout's a good game, but you can see that the engine needs to be updated. The games are so broken. But when you play Metro Exodus or you play the Outer Worlds, it's like playing a Fallout game, but an actually good one that's not broken. Like Metro Exodus is like Fallout in Russia during the cold times. Outer Worlds is like, hey, you want Fallout, but you want to be at all these different planets, and you actually want to have a good game. It's like, why didn't those games get nominated? I can't say what they were thinking, but for me, it just feels like, and I'll be there and watch the Game Awards. I might even stream it, but it just irks me so much that you see all these games and all the games you play, and those are the ones that not getting the awards, the ones that have big sale numbers.
Control didn't even sell that much. It's on sale for like, I don't know how much it is for Black Friday, but I think it's like less than half. I think it's $25.
Yeah, but before anything, anybody in the chat got any more y'all want to say? Because I'm gonna give y'all about a minute or two for about the Game Awards before we move on to the fun topic of the night, the WWE. Talk about WWE and basically because Survivor Series is this weekend. Reference some of that, because everybody, you may not know it, but Jakin is a wrestling fan, just like me, just like a lot of us here. We don't always talk about it because we're on a lot of gaming podcasts, gaming streams, but we will be talking about that in just a moment. But I just want to make sure anybody in the chat's got anything more to say. Let me see. Okay, let's see the family credit. Even if it came out in January, it still wouldn't have won. Wait, Control got nominated for Best Narrative? What the fuck? It Control was nominated for Best Game? What the fuck? Star Wars should be on there over Control and Resident Evil 2. That's the thing.
Star Wars missed the cutoff. That's the problem.
I wonder when is the cutoff, because next year when they do the awards, are they just gonna sit there and be able to nominate Pokemon and Star Wars, or did they miss the cutoff?
I think it's like, I don't know the exact date, but I think it's like around November 10th or something.
That's the thing, is that like some people like I think it was whenever the Xenoblade 2 thing happened, somebody referenced like the regular award shows that you see for TV, movies, and like music that happen like in January, February, and March, and they said, why don't you just have the Game Awards drop in January, and basically you set the timetable of everything from the last year, from the January 1st of the previous year to that December, and those are all the games nominated.
Yeah. The problem is that if you do it in January, you're not going to be able to hype up sales for Death Stranding and Control for the holidays.
True.
So that's where like the big fuck you pops in, is like that's why I can't take any of this seriously, because I know all these games are just like in there for the sake of name recognition for
Yeah,
when people go to
and no,
stores and they go, "Oh,
and no offense, this is I'll be completely honest. Super Smash Brothers. Do you think that's game of the year? Because that is a good fighting game, but it's broken in many ways, as Avedon, Jake, and other people that are better than me explained to me. But the reason I feel like it's there is, oh, we're gonna drop this announcement for the final of the 5 first DLC characters you get, and we're also gonna give you a hint at the future DLC that they said they're coming to the game as well. And I'm like, that's why you're putting it there so you can hype it up, right?
well, I do." It's hard because I do think that Smash Brothers, just for like the pure sake of what they put into the game, like damn near 80 fighters, or I think we're at 80 fighters now.
Yeah.
The amount of stages, the amount of music.
Yeah, the way the game is looking now, it looks like when they get done with the game, maybe up to 90 something, maybe 100 as the cap off or something.
Just for like the sheer amount of volume and just the impact on the gaming industry of having all these kinds of different characters playing in the same arena, I think it's worth a Game of the Year nomination. While it's not a perfect game. It's hard to balance a game when there's 80 fighters. There's going to be a lot of characters that get absolutely destroyed by their characters.
Is Gear
Um,
is
Gears
Gear
5,
is Gears 5 even nominated for anything? Because that's a game that I
yes.
played and I actually enjoyed.
I think it's nominated for story direction or something like that.
Best mode, maybe best ongoing game, best game for impact, best performance. I don't. Best.
I remember seeing it.
Let me.
It
Best
it didn't
narrative.
get many.
That's another game that they basically made the series go to a no whole nother level, and it's like that game didn't get more awards, and
Yeah.
and it's like you're talking about, and that's a game that I could say for at least Microsoft side, that's their best game in the entire last year for Microsoft, because you can't say that the Outer Worlds, because that wasn't Microsoft's fully Microsoft's until just a few until they bought them.
I don't think a Microsoft exclusive is ever going to win Game of the Year with anyone other than Microsoft bias magazines and websites, because they just don't have it.
Oh, okay. The only thing that I think could ever be Game of the Year from Microsoft is, even if Gear as good as Gears is the only franchise they would ever put in there for Microsoft is Halo.
Halo, it would have to have an amazing campaign, because if you look at all these games that are nominated for Game of the Year, they're campaign based, except for Smash Brothers. But Smash Brothers has such an over the top multiplayer experience that it makes up for the lack of like a story at
Yeah.
all. It has no story.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I thought it was gonna have story with the way that they built it up as the world of light, but that's really not much of nothing. Getting some stuff for multiplayer.
yeah, and it's not even an efficient way of getting stuff for multiplayer. Like there's way easier ways to do it.
Yeah.
And but these like who won last year? God of War. That's a single player game. Who was going to win might have like was a close runner up. Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah. But
At the time of the awards, there was no multiplayer. So, I mean, Halo would have to have a good story, which I think it's going to have a good story, Halo Infinite.
yeah.
What do you think? I think it's going to be interesting. I think they can do a lot
Well,
with it.
we can take a little tangent over here to something else. Halo Infinite for me, obviously y'all seen me show before. That's the reason that I got into current gen consoles is through the old gaming group that I used to be in, and you're buying the Halo 5 console, you know. And I'm looking for Halo to come back and be more Master Chief focused, you know. I mean, he's got to be way old because how many years the games have gone by, you know. I wonder how the dude under the mask looks. That's like an old man up there. I'm still fighting. Hey, give me another shot of this. Let me put me in another thing and go to sleep for a little bit. But all jokes aside, this is a game that has to do well, not just for the franchise Halo, but for Microsoft as well, being that it is its longest running franchise, its biggest franchise, and it's the one that over Gears 5 actually sells a massive amount of units worldwide, especially in the United States and in Europe. It sells like wow. And plus, it's got it's got its own like multiplayer stuff, esports. You know, a lot of people you see big now that are streamers, big streamers. They didn't get big off the games they're playing. They got big off playing Halo.
Hmm.
You know, so I hope that this game does good for Microsoft and all this, because Microsoft's going a lot of different areas with XCloud and all this, and trying to compete with PlayStation and this, and being buddy buddy with Nintendo and trying to compete with Google. So hopefully my little, you know, that little thing that I said there, hopefully they do good with that.
Yes.
So
Yes, yes,
so
yes.
yeah, so that's pretty much the Game Awards. It seems like we're all kind of saying, hey, we're a little got a little sour taste in our mouth. You know, we're gonna be there watching it because we love video games. Not actually be there. We're where we're at. We're gonna be watching. You know, and obviously we're gonna have another forums like this as soon as it comes off. What are our reviews of this one winning the thing? But moving on from that, because it just if the more you talk about it, you just get a headache out of the way it is, you know. And honestly, I think Jeff Keighley's a good person. He's especially when I see him do his stuff around E3. It's really good interviews. Especially back whenever I first saw him on G4 back in the day, he was really good. But it's just like the way that it looks now, it just puts a sour taste in your mouth. You got anything else to say before we get over to the WWE?
No, man. I mean, I'm looking forward to the Game Awards just for the announcements. I will watch it, but
Yeah.
honestly, I'm gonna be probably playing my Switch while it's on and just waiting for them to say world premiere.
Yeah.
Or
Would you like to see anything world premiere, or would you like to see any world premiere, anything saying, hey, a release date for this game, or anything like a character for Smash? What would you like to see? Anything?
I don't know, dude. I mean, it's hard to say because for Nintendo, they don't have a lot locked in for next year outside of probably what is it? A few games like in January, and then Animal Crossing got pushed back
Yeah.
to I think it was
March.
March.
Yeah.
Yeah, so past March we don't really know anything that's going on. We're gonna get a direct probably next month or January, maybe. Sometimes they do them in February.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know, dude. I mean, I have too many games right now to play, so
Yeah.
I would like to see a release date for Bayo 3. Um, but it's unlikely. Maybe
Yeah.
just a trailer or something would be cool.
Yeah, it's good conversations. For me to kind of put a bow on this and move on to the really fun topic talking about wrestling, which I really absolutely love. I gotta say for next year in the Game Awards, is that I feel like this year I'm gonna watch it. I might stream it. You know, never know. Feel that night if I'm not working, you know, or anything like that. But I feel like that's gonna have a good announcements and all that. You basically next year you got a few things that what do you think Nintendo's doing? You got a good big pretty much PlayStation didn't have really anything this year, but next year they got some things coming out with Last of Us 2, and they're probably going to show more of it at the Game Awards, obviously. And then for Microsoft, pretty much all you know next year is the game coming out with the Xbox Scarlet or whatever they want to call it, and that is Halo. So are they going to say anything else there? So it leaves a lot of what are we going to see? But getting into the last topic right here, so I'm gonna go right over here, hope you know, and close this little screen so my computer runs a little smoother. Is WWE because I always like to throw out to my guests something that they would like to talk about, you know, and he threw out to me just like when I had Big Evil that wrestling, you know. So I would like to know before we get actually into the nitty gritty of Survivor Series, which is this year it's Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT, which is basically like back in the day. They're making NXT basically their version of ECW, but on a much grander scale because they got a better roster in this. But what do you think about the current product or anything in WWE going on? Any storylines, anything you like?
the the current WWE is it's funny because I've been watching WWE for like 15 years
Yeah.
or so. like early 2000, I started watching it. So I've seen a lot of storylines. I've seen a lot of drama, and as you watch it, you can't help but notice things that they have done before, like when Braun Strowman and what's his name, Burn It Down. Uh, Remind me.
Seth
Um,
Rollins.
Seth Rollins were the tag team champions while Seth was the champion. That same exact thing happened with John Cena and the Big Show.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
So yeah, I'm like, where have I seen this before? Oh yeah, it was John Cena and the Big Show, and then this Rusev Bobby Lashley thing reminds me an awful lot of Kane, Lita, and Edge,
Yeah.
which was one of the best. That was one of my favorite
Well,
arcs.
well, see, the difference in that is that it was Lashley and Rusev. They're actually, from what I know, they're actually friends behind the scenes. But when you get to Lita and all that, that was actually true. Like really, like they were actually like Lita was actually messing around with the guys back there. So when you had those matches back in the day, it was Edge and Matt Hardy, they were actually going at each other for pure feelings. And WWE had to step in a few times because if you go watch old clips on YouTube, there's like stuff where like Lito's on this old show for WWE that was on the webpage, and Matt Hardy calls in and goes off on her, and I'm just like, ooh,
Really?
ooh, yeah,
All
yeah,
right. Okay. I didn't know that.
you
That
know.
makes it a little bit better.
Because Matt Hardy had all his feelings in the world for her, and then she does this. But this storyline with Rusev, I love Rusev. He's a great in-ring competitor. So is Lashley. But last time they put Rusev in a storyline with Lana in the love thing was back in a couple years, like 3-4 years ago, wasn't it? With Summer Rae and what's in the other person, and that fell through because what TMZ leaked it. Oh, they got engaged, and it's like you're gonna put him in another storyline, and everybody knows that they're married, they're doing this. She's not messing around on him, and every time you do the photos of them, they don't just do photos at home and all this. Oh, we're standing in front of the little screen right here, and we're gonna take a photo. We're in photos like this. It's not like actual relationship photos. Because every time I see it on Twitter, I mean on Instagram, I'm just like, huh. But the current product is just something that I wish would be like better because obviously you've got your Impact, your ROH, your New Japan, and now AEW, and you just see that product there, and they're focused more on what's in the ring and less on what's outside the ring, and it's just like I would like to see that in WWE, even though WWE wants to show off their fancy edited skills. I just wish they would show more in-ring stuff.
You know what they're doing now with the in-ring? They're doing like real. They're trying to be edgier with the storylines and everything like that. And then with the in-ring, all they're doing is they're trying to have better matches by just people kicking out of finishers.
That's the thing that I don't like is that there is like back in the day you used to have you do all these moves and you'd have these great long matches, but you see these guys hit these finishers and the
It's done.
dude wouldn't get up. It's like Big Show would come in there back in the day or Kane, and then they do the choke slam and the dude wouldn't even get up. I've seen choke slam happen now, and the dude would roll out of the ring, roll right out of the ring. And it's like okay, or like they
Yeah,
get the win. And then they get the win after the big move, and then like 2 seconds later, dude's up walking out of the thing. I'm like, they used to get that, and they used to have to pan the camera away from the ring to let the dude sit there and sell the move in front of the crowd.
yeah. Like back in the day, it was like if someone kicked out of like a tombstone or something, you couldn't believe that shit. Now now someone gets speared or something and they kick out, you're like, okay, how long was this match? 7, 8 minutes. He's gonna kick out.
Yeah. Spear, roll out of the ring, your partner comes in or somebody comes in and makes a run in. Oh, okay, that person can be back in like a minute after they just like watch them do a couple moves. Oh, I'm back in the ring fighting.
Yeah,
And
I,
it just irks me because I'm just gonna reference AEW because that's the biggest promotion outside of WWE. It's not technically been around the longest as the other ones, but it's you got to reference that one because that's the one that's competing with them. Even though they say they're not competing with each other, they know they are. And AEW, you see the backstage segments and all that, but they use that to sell you going to their YouTube channel, selling to Be in Elite, selling the AEW Dark. And when you watch the show, it's more about the in ring, and they have less commercials to actually show the stuff, show the moves, show the stuff, and like do the different moves that they do. Like they're not just all about flips, this and the other thing, and boom, we got the win. Or oh, we gotta protect this guy. They're not, they're not worried about if they protect somebody. They're doing legit wrestling the way that I feel like it's supposed to be done, like the old school way.
Another like thing I have about the WWE is I feel like they're underutilizing their best in-ring performers. Like I really think Cedric. I'm a big Cedric Alexander guy. I think he could be the champion here in the next year or two. I think he could have a long run. I like the dude. I think he's really, really good in ring. I think he's top 10. He needs to get a little better on the mic and everything like that.
Yeah.
But I'm a big Cedric Alexander guy, and then I really think they're underutilizing Finn Balor.
Yeah, Finn Balor. There's a lot of people that they're underutilizing because we're gonna get to Survivor Series and the implication of this because this is what's in current WWE, and we're gonna dive more into some of the wrestlers in just a moment. But when you look at guys like Shelton Benjamin, he left WWE for it seems like over 10 years. He went to ROH. He went to New Japan. What did he do? He wanted to get himself better. And he said in an interview, he wanted to get himself better. So when he came back on TV, just like Rey Mysterio wanted to get himself better, Drew Galloway wanted to get themselves better, so when they came back on WWE television, they could show that you didn't just let me go. You didn't just fire me. I didn't just leave. I came back to show you that, hey, I'm actually better on the mic, in ring, and all of this. It's like Drew Galloway. He's a skinny guy, looking like Shawn Michaels skinny, and then he comes back, and he's buff and all this, and it's like, what happened to you? And people are all like, steroids. No, that was actually him working out and showing that he actually really enjoys wrestling. And it's like you're utilizing these guys that have so much potential, and you're wondering why this thing. It's like right now, and I look at that thing that VSIP said about, that we're going to talk to in a moment, is AJ Styles versus 69 versus Roderick Strong. Those are mid-card champions on the three brands, and those are some of the best wrestlers in the company, and they're not even being used to their full potential. And it's like you want to lock these guys down with these contracts, not let guys release because you see two or three of them that you released earlier this year go to AEW and do phenomenal. And I understand you want to keep your stuff there, but if you're going to keep those guys there for however much money you're paying them, I, as a wrestler, somebody that's done a little bit of in-ring work, I would feel like you're going to sit in there, give me a mic, let me go out there, speak this. Well, let me speak my character. Don't let me read this 3-page thing that I got to read when I call my buddy or see my buddy that used to wrestle with me over there in ROH or something like that, where they just told him, go get the mic, don't say this, don't reference to other companies. Just go out there, reference your character, reference your match, and say whatever you want. And they're allowed to do that. But yet I've got to do this whole stupid thing that I'm not even passionate about. It just really, it just really does this thing that makes it like, I don't know what they're thinking, but at the same time, we could complain about it all day long, which is what we're going to get to more than that right here with Survivor Series, because Survivor Series is this year. It's Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT. And just looking at some of the matches we got here, we got a match that I obviously, because I'm looking on Wikipedia, because that's the easiest thing that I found to look at the matches up. One of the matches we'll reference is AJ Styles versus, I'll do the mid-card match first, because then we're going to get to the funner matches, which is the big title matches, which one of them I think is a lot better than the other. But with the mid-card matches, we got AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Roderick Strong versus each other, which is basically like a Night of Champions this time, because you have all these champions versus each other, and it's not really Survivor Series as it was in the past. What do you think about that kind of match, AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, and them?
I think that's going to be a really fun match. I hope the OC stays off ringside. That's like one of the most annoying things to me right now is that it's always been like that where people have their groups and they always come down and it's never going to be a clean match. Someone's going to get screwed over and someone's going to end up getting jumped at the end of the match. And it's like it gets boring after a while. But I think Shinsuke Nakamura is a fun character. I think he's a cool dude. I like the mouth guard. He's got style. He's got great hair. I think it's gonna be a fun match. I think, gosh, I don't know who's gonna win. I think I could flip a coin between AJ and Nakamura.
No
I
offense.
don't know.
Yeah, no offense. I just feel like Roger Strong's there. He's going to get good. He's going to have some good spots, but he's going to be the one to take the fall because they're not going to let the other
Oh
ones do it.
yeah,
He's going to be
he has
the.
zero chance.
I feel like I don't want OC there, but if OC's going to stick their nose in there, they're probably going to come in there, take out Shinsuke Nakamura. He's going to come. AJ's going to do his little. Oh, I'm doing my move from the top from the rope. I forgot what it's called where he does the forearm, and he's going to hit Roger Strong.
The
1, 2, 3.
phenomenal forearm.
Yeah, the phenomenal forearm, and he's going to do the 1, 2, 3. And it's going to be like, hey, we got the win.
Probably. That's that that might be how it goes down. I could totally see that happening. That's gonna be a fun match.
Yeah. And speaking of Sami Zayn, you can see Sami Zayn coming out there on SmackDown after. This match should have never have happened. The OC shouldn't have been out there. My man,
you hypocrites. You hypocrites, you all laugh and you all cheer for him, but you all hate your lives or something.
But
I
man,
hate Sami Zayn.
I want to say whenever he shuts up and they just let him wrestle, he's better. He's excellent. But when he talks on the mic, it's just so annoying. But when you talk about good hair, I just can't think about AJ Styles since he has this long hair. His hair just looks. I wish if I had long hair, had long hair like that. It just flows when he.
Oh, it's glorious.
It just glows and it shines. I'm just like,
He has great hair.
And then you look at his two partners in the OC, and they're like, not much of anything up there.
Well, I think they did it on purpose because it sets them apart.
Yeah.
Makes him the clear leader, as he is the dominant one with the hair.
Yeah. Then now we're gonna go. Now before I get to the 2 title matches, which is the WWE title and the Universal title, I want to talk about the tag match and then the two matches for the women and the men in the big brand supremacy thing as they're trying to do, which it's cool. You got the Viking Raiders versus the New Day versus the Undisputed Era, and that's gonna be an interesting match. I wish they wouldn't have put the New Day in there. To be honest with you, I wish they wouldn't have. I wish they would have kept the Revival because it would have felt more NXT like. It would have felt more old school wrestling in there with the way that, and it felt more like the kind of guys that are going. Because no offense to the New Day, but they're more a new style tag team, more like this joking, flashy, do this. And the Viking Raiders, hard hitting. The Revival, they're old school. Like if you remember the Four Horsemen, they're that kind of wrestling. And the Undisputed Era is those two guys have been tagging with each other for years. They were the Red Dragon back in the day. So, what do you think about the tag team match?
Dude, I'm all about the Viking Raiders. I love them. Smack you in the mouth. I think they're big and super athletic. I love the cartwheel. I love everything about it, dude. I love the beards. I love the tattoos. God, I wish they had a little bit better. They can't talk on a mic.
Yeah.
They yell at the camera. But as far as like in ring goes, they're top notch, dude. They're fantastic.
I just saw the comments that we're talking about hair. They're talking about your hair now.
So yeah, dude, my hair.
The ladies pet Jenkins' hair almost as much as they. Dang. Oh, you got a pretty dog. Oh, your hair.
Yeah, dude. Old ladies like my hair. Like middle-aged women compliment my hair.
And you styling profiling with that hair, ain't you?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
my boss is like, my grandpa's a barber.
But yeah, the Viking Raiders, they're like the Viking Raiders in the Revival. They're like old school wrestling, hard mouth hitching face. I would love to see, even though one team's comical, I want to see one day Heavy Machinery versus the Viking Raiders. That's 4 big men. You're gonna have to really hold that ring up, WWE, when you have that match. But I want to see that. But as far as the match they got for this, because there's only a couple more matches to talk about, I feel like it's gonna be a very, very high profile match. But sadly to say, we all know how they're gonna do it. Something's gonna happen with the Undisputed Era and the Viking Raiders, and the New Day is gonna come in there and take that win.
You think so?
I just feel like it is. Unless
I
it,
think I see your point, but I think they're really playing up the Viking Raiders. I mean, they're on a roll. I really think I think the Viking Raiders take it.
yeah, I would like them to take. Personally, for me, personally, the Viking Raiders is the team that I would like to win. Win. Anybody in the chat as we're talking about these different matches and just WWE in general, if you got anything you would like to say, comment it. Who's your favorite superstar? Who you want to win these matches? Now we're gonna get into the two big matches of the night. And I'm not talking about like they're like oh fighting for a title, but these are brand supremacy matches. We're gonna start with the women's match, which is Team Raw that has Charlotte Flair, Natalya, Asaka, Kairi Sane, and Sarah Logan versus, which I actually like Asaka. She's got a gaming YouTube channel.
Mm.
Team SmackDown versus Sasha Banks, Carmella, Dana Brooke. Who cares about her? She never really gets used. Lacey Evans and Nikki Cross versus to be announced NXT team, because that's what it says here, because they obviously got their event the night before. You know who's gonna come out of there and all that. But I feel like for the women's match, just to say it, I feel like they're gonna play on who either Raw or SmackDown winning, because they want to boost. Oh, well, our main roster is that for them.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know which. I feel like it's hard to say which women's roster is better between SmackDown and Raw.
Yeah.
Where is Alexa Bliss?
She's not in.
SmackDown?
Alexa Bliss, I believe. No. She was on SmackDown, but then they trade. I think they. No, she was. She's on. Forgot where she is. She was on. I think she was on. No, her and Nikki Cross. Her and Nikki Cross were on Raw originally, and then after was the draft, and then Raw said, "Oh, we'll get a few draft picks down the road," and drafted them both back. And then since then, they put Nikki Cross basically singles match, because she won this big 10-man women match, and she got a shot for the title, and then now she's in this.
Yeah, she's interesting. I don't
And
know how I feel about her. She's
yeah,
like, she's whatever. She's wild.
yeah. I mean, with Alexa Bliss, I don't get why they didn't make her the team captain, because sorry, Sasha Banks, they bring her back, blue hair. She goes and does this big heel run, and then they put her on SmackDown, and she's getting overshadowed by the champion so much, overshadowed. And it's like you went away for all this time, and you begged WWE to put you in something right, and now you're getting yourself be overshadowed again.
Yeah, I only ask about Alexa Bliss because she is Bay, and she's the only woman I care about.
Yeah. Oh well, if I man, I made me just Kairi saying Osaka. I like the Japanese woman, man. If I had a woman like that, yeah. And then I going through YouTube, and I saw New Day member, what's his name, Austin Creed, Xavier Woods. He has up down down, and through him I saw that she had a YouTube channel, and I saw it, and I was like, I can't understand what word what she say, but I'll see her unbox and make this chair. Woo.
Mm-hmm. Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah, so that match could be up is going to be up in there, but now we got the heavy hitters, which I could probably speculate who's going to be there for NXT. Obviously you're going to have Keith Lee and Mr. Bro that used to be an UFC guy, Matt Riddle. But for Team Raw, and the big one is Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, and Ricochet versus SmackDown, which is Roman Reigns, Mustafa Ali, Braun Strowman, Kane Corbin, and as they're actually calling him now, instead of calling him Chad Gable, they're calling Shorty G.
Shorty G is a fantastic person and a
Versus,
gentleman.
uh,
I love Shorty G, bro. He's funny.
so speaking on teams that the men's match of the night, you can speak. What do you think about the who's going to win that, and what do you think about the guys on that team? Because then now we can actually go a little bit more into this, because those guys are big, not only in this match but single wise as well.
Yeah, dude. I mean, top to bottom, I think Raw has the best team. If you just look at I mean, Randy Orton, Seth Rollins, those dudes are. I don't know if they'll let them lose. Like, do you think a team with Seth Rollins and Randy Orton are gonna?
I don't think so because like eventually I feel like this. We're gonna get to this match in a moment, but I feel like Rey Mysterio is gonna get himself hurt or something like that, get destroyed, and eventually they're gonna have Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar match again, and Seth Rollins gonna be champion again until they find somebody else to fight him. You know. Cause I'm sorry, WWE, but you get on my nerves that every chance you get, you put some kind of version of a title on Brock Lesnar since he's come back, and it's just like, can't you just give him the Braun Strowman effect for a little bit? Let him be big, strong, not have a title. Let somebody else.
Yeah, dude, I like Braun Strowman. Frankly, I thought, let him. The Big Show had some reigns where he was a champion.
Yeah.
Like, let Braun Strowman have the championship.
I mean, there's another guy that has a title match, Daniel Bryan. But I remember back in the day when they had Daniel Bryan, Mark Henry, and Big Show having that storyline on SmackDown back in the day, and that was actually very interesting and fun because that World Heavyweight Championship was going through between them, and it was fun to see that. And it was two big men, bam. Why can't you do that with Braun Strowman, or even put Braun Strowman out there versus Brock Lesnar and actually show instead of Brock Lesnar going in? Because what makes me mad about this is Brock Lesnar goes out there and has all these magnificent matches, which he's actually a decent guy in the ring. But then, as soon as he gets that one low blow, he is out. And it's like other wrestlers I've seen recently get low blows, and they're not out as much as he is.
Well, his manhood is much more vulnerable, as it is much larger than the rest of the wrestlers on the roster.
Yeah. But yeah.
Just kidding. I have no idea.
It's just, I don't know. I feel like, for the way I look at it, they're not even using Roman Reigns, who to the potential that he was the last couple of years, that they pushed him to try to be the next John Cena. It's like he's been on SmackDown, and it's just like, oh, Roman Reigns is coming out. Cool. And he doesn't even feel like he was just like a year ago. I mean, a year ago he was going sick and went out and did a movie and then came back. I don't know if that's coincidence or not, but hey, WWE.
They don't want to put too much stock in him in case he gets sick again.
And it's like, but yeah. I mean, they're pushing Kane Corbin on SmackDown more than they push Roman Reigns, and Kane Corbin, I just don't like. I mean, I like Corbin as a wrestler, but as a gimmick, no.
I don't think he annoys me. I don't think he's that good. I don't think he's that good.
But as far as that goes, I don't want to ramble too much on this. I'm fixing to check the chat in just a second. I feel like Team Raw probably put it out because I feel like down the road, if they give the title back to Seth Rollins, the World Heavyweight Championship, because now that's on Raw, I feel like it'd be cool to see Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre have a feud leading maybe into WrestleMania for that title. That'd be cool to see.
And earlier, I wanted to touch on, you said about people leaving, Sheldon Benjamin leaving and coming back. Drew McIntyre is a great example of someone that left and come back and's been twice the presence and twice the wrestler he was, or he is. He's twice the wrestler he was before. There you go.
Yeah. Well, if people remember this, you remember back whenever he was on there, he was the one that came into SmackDown as the chosen one by Vince McMahon. Because Vince McMahon said, "I have this wrestler, he's the chosen one," and it brought him out. And it was back when he had the skinny version of himself. He had the that cool music. I forgot. I can't sing, but you all know what I'm talking about. And he and then they put it, and then he did that for like a couple years. One had an amazing reign with the Intercontinental Championship, and then they put him in 3MB, which was him. Can't think of Heath Slater, and I can't think of the other guy's name. The other guy, he won a world title when he came back, but they released him. They released two of them, and they keep Heath Slater. Heath Slater does all right for himself because Heath Slater kind of took the comedy role once they got rid of Santino Marella out of the company, which I'm okay with it. I've seen that guy do an interview. He said he's cool with what he's doing. It's a guy I can respect the guy if he wants to ride that way, but you see two guys leave the company. People are like, oh, they're not going to be nothing. They go back, they bulk themselves up, they win titles outside of WWE, they drop those titles, they come back, they work to get contracts, get calls back from WWE, and both of them come back looking massive. Everything that they say WWE wants in a guy, that Vince McMahon wants in a guy, they want big, muscly guys, tall, strong, and both of them do that. And one of them wins a world title and has a feud. I can't think of his name.
Jinder Mahal?
Yeah, Jinder Mahal. He comes back, wins a world title, and holds it for a while. And I think that was an okay run. You know,
He looks like he's on steroids.
you know. Yes,
He's
yeah, yeah.
ridiculous.
He looks like he's on steroids because his bulkiness is like he's big, but his veins are popping up. But then you look at Drew McIntyre, and he's big, but his veins ain't popping out. It's just like massive muscle.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and also that Claymore kick that looks so devastating. The way he runs and throws his whole body. Ooh.
He, yeah, dude. I wish he was like a little bit more. He's just pure rage, and I wish he had a little bit more Randy Orton in him, where he's a little bit more like,
Calculating.
yeah,
Because
instead of just,
cause that's the way that they talk about Randy Orton, not to butt in, but Randy Orton, they talk about how he has that rage in him, but he's like calculated because he breaks down somebody. The way he fights is breaking down somebody's body with his stomps, his kicks, and then he finally hits the RKO.
yeah, even just like the character overall. I feel like they're not doing enough with him, and he's a good heel. I'm glad he's no longer hanging around Shane O'Mac, because that
Yeah,
was annoying.
that whole
Uh,
storyline with Shane for a while there, it just got tiring to me. Especially what irks me is what they did to Kevin Owens. They built him up to almost be the face of SmackDown, and then in the draft after he wins his match and basically gets Shane out of the company, which basically Shane just went backstage and just shut his mouth, is that they move him over to Raw. It's like you didn't just build that dude up to be the man that's gonna be the leader of your brand. Why didn't you keep him on there and he be the one going against the Fiend? That would have been amazing promos.
dude, I love Kevin Owens. Him and his dad bod is fantastic. He's so good on the mic. He is so funny, dude. Like his personality and everything like that. Uh, he's one of my favorites for sure. I think he's got
You
one
mean
of the best
the KO
personalities.
show? It is the
Yeah,
Kevin Owens show. And what really sold me on Kevin Owens, I wasn't a fan of him in NXT, but whenever he did a storyline was one of my favorites of all time. Chris Jericho, who is the AEW champion, when he did that best friend storyline, that sold me on him that he could hold a title, have mic work, and go in the ring.
hmm
Now moving on to my favorite match of the night, which I think could probably steal the show. So we got three more matches after this: a women's match, an NXT match, and the World Heavyweight title. But my favorite match of the night that I'm gonna talk about right now is considerably the most over character in all of WWE: The Fiend, Bray Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan. And I've heard, man, Twitter blows up whenever you hear about, or Instagram, or even when The Fiend was first announced. And I mean, I didn't know what to think of that character, but I like how he has like, Bray Wyatt's like being like, I guess the modern day Mick Foley. He has like split personalities, but I feel like it's on a little bit of a more refined level, better to me.
it's definitely more. There's more production value, that's for sure. They put a lot more work into it. They're really the Fiend is part of the new edginess for the WWE, where they're kind of like stepping over lines that they didn't want to cross before, with kind of like mental health and stuff like that. He's like legitimately, his character is legitimately almost like possessed
Yeah,
and like mentally unwell. And like when Seth Rollins attacks him, he goes, "Seth, no, please, why are you doing this?"
yeah. But then out of nowhere, like the lights go like that, and he goes into the darkness, or the mask appears on his face, and then he goes into this rage mode where it's just like he doesn't care what happens now.
Yeah, I I don't know how I feel about the Fiend. Um, he's no boogeyman.
Yeah, the Boogeyman had much more potential than what they gave him.
They just gave him like, dude. He's still. Did you see him on the Raw Rewind where he came back?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, looks the same. Still look good.
yeah. And that dude, and I didn't. Those he still eats worms, and because I dive in sometimes when like I like watching podcasts and stuff like that. And I dive in to see interviews of like Jericho and all these other people that got podcasts, and like there's like this guy that does like these dirt sheet things for like interviews with people wrestlers, and the guy asked him, he said, "Do you eat? How many pounds of worms did you eat?" He says after feeling like it's been like 10 pounds and going to house shows to Raws to SmackDowns, doing this for years. Did this. Now on the indie scene, I try to lessen up what I do on the work side, but they have good protein in them. And I'm like, nah.
They're all protein, bro.
I'm like, no, I couldn't do that. But hey, he got a good payday out of it to go sit in there, eat some worms, and then shove them down somebody's throat. So,
Yeah.
but the Fiend character and even Daniel Bryan, like Daniel Bryan's promo on SmackDown this past week, whatever, he's on the Miz's show, and he talks about like, oh, I know, I've been that way. I've been a little off kill, you know. I'm just like, you have been a little off, you know. You were this guy, then you were like this guy that was like for waste management and all this. Oh, here's my healthy hemp title.
Eco friendly.
Yeah.
It's like
And then you lost title, and then you went like hell with
heel.
everybody. Lost title.
Yeah.
Which I actually like the look of the eco-friendly title.
Yeah, dude, it wasn't bad. You know, I like Daniel Bryan is I don't know. I don't know how I feel about him. He's just kind of like he flip-flops so much in between heel and face, everything like that. I don't like him as a heel. I think he's better he's made somewhat of a turn, right? He's not like as big as of a dick as he was.
From what I get is that like when he left like the Luke I guess Luke Harper or whatever it is. No, the Eric Rowan. It's Eric Rowan. Is the guy that was tagging with him. When he left that, and they had like the little small feud of that, and then Roman Reigns came in and helped him out and kind of put them to the side, you know. And they just kind of didn't do anything with Eric Rowan, who actually showed he could do promo skills. Daniel Bryan's kind of going through the level of, should I go back to my hugging way? Should I go back to the yes, yes, yes movement or not? And I feel like that's kind of what they're going to get with, if maybe, I think he loses this match, but they keep the feud going maybe. Because I feel like they need to get the Fiend to play on this a little bit. Oh, you want to be this kind of guy? Come on, be like me, be like I am on this show, kind of thing. I feel like they could play on that more, you know. But Daniel Bryan, he's a good in-ring competitor. I really enjoy his in-ring work. His mic skills, he could be better, better.
He could be better, yeah.
I mean, he was great when it was Team Hell No. That thing right there was like, that was probably one of the favorite tag teams in WWE when they did it. Because to see Kane's massive big dude. I've seen Kane before in life. One time when I was little, they had a show I never went to the show, but they had a show at the FedEx Forum, and we were driving down there, and I was like, they have a show, and I show there. My mom's like, I know, and it's me, my mom, and my dad, and the wrestlers are walking down the road. It was Kane, Big Show, and Rey Mysterio, and I knew it was wrestlers as soon as I saw Rey Mysterio because he had a mask on, and they're walking towards the carport, and I see Kane, and Kane just sitting there like big Buffy. I'm just like, I don't want to mess with that. I'm like, Big Show looks big, but Kane, he looked ripped back then.
Yeah, dude.
That was probably during like the ECW era. They had ECW, SmackDown, and Raw. That was like probably like 10, 12 years ago. But that was like, when I saw that, I was like, man.
He was back when masked Kane was still a thing.
Yeah.
He's probably the most like physically imposing characters of all time, like in the WWE, apart from like, you know, Hulk Hogan and like Andre the Giant. That, yeah, the Big Show was big and Macho Man was buff and the Ultimate Warrior was buff, but Kane, dude, when he put his like hands on you, and you saw people just fly or get choke slammed.
Mm-hmm. And he's yeah, and I feel like he's in the same kind of boat as Big Show is. He's one of those big men that I feel like is very, very underrated.
Yeah.
You know.
Now,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say the only knock on him that I think hindered him a little bit is he wasn't as like athletically gifted as like, you know, Braun Strowman is not as tall, but he's about the same size, pretty close, and that big boy, he can move.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think sorry, you go.
Oh, I was just referencing him and Undertaker because like whenever they tag together, or even big, you know, Undertaker was the one that was doing all like the different moves, like more like the triangle choke or going on the ropes and all that. And Big Show was more of like, I'm gonna come in there, I'm gonna throw some power, get like I mean Kane would go in there and be like, I'm gonna do the big power moves, big power slam, big choke slams, big knock somebody out of the ring, let Undertaker go get him, scare him up a little, rough him up a little bit, let him throw in his fast punches, his fast kicks, and then I'll come in there and we'll finish the match out together.
Exactly. He never like Undertaker. That's it. I didn't want to use the Undertaker as an example because I feel like the Undertaker is just on a whole nother level. Like you can't compare him to Braun Strowman and Kane and everything like that because he's Undertaker's one of the the best to ever do it. To me, he's top 5.
Yeah, he's to me. If you want to talk about the Undertaker for a second, before we get back into the last couple matches on the Survivor Series card, is that he to me, I don't know if he actually is the GOAT, but he is one of the GOATs of wrestling in general because he's been in WWE, signed to that contract for 29 years as of this year, and to still have quality matches every single year, whether it be one match or not, whether he had to carry that match with Goldberg this year or not, which he had to carry that match, that was Goldberg.
That's not, dude. That should never happen. Let's not talk about it. I thought that young man died. I thought he snapped his fucking neck.
Yeah.
We're not we're not talking about that.
Yeah,
Jeez
but see him do what he does, because I feel like if you put him up in an echelon, you talk about like Macho Man, Hulk Hogan, Undertaker, Trish Jericho, people that are so up there that are ghosts that have been anywhere that they've wrestled for or been, they've made something good out of it. It's like wow.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, for a big man of his thing, he's probably the biggest man. No knock on Kane, on Braun Strowman, on Big Show, or any past big man. But he's got some of the fastest hands. Because when you see him throw somebody in the corner, I'm like, oh.
He would, like, if it was a real fight, he would fuck up 99% of the WWE Raw.
Yeah. But I feel like overall, after talking about this, I like the character of Bray Wyatt, the Fiend. He's actually a very good ring person. And going against Daniel Bryan, that match right there could probably, if they just stay in the ring and they don't let a lot of WWE let them be their characters, I feel like that match could steal the night. Now another match, we don't know who he's gonna face yet because we got Adam Cole, Baby as they call him. Same thing they used back when he was in ROH. He's the head of the Undisputed Era. He's going against the winner of the NXT TakeOver War Games Triple Threat, which I don't even know who's in that match because I haven't looked it up. But I feel like he's champion. He's not gonna lose.
No, how long has he been the champion? Like 150 days or
He's
something?
been champion since he got it from Johnny Gargano, who I really like. But yeah. So I just feel like that. Then you got the women's match, which is the man, Becky Lynch, Billy, she's and then you've got Shayna Baszler, who's been champion forever, it seems like. I can't watch NXT the last 2 years without seeing, she still has a title.
Yeah. She's not going to lose it either.
I wonder when they're going to make that girl lose the title, because I like NXT sometimes more than I like the main roster stuff. Just like the majority of people like to tell you in social media. But I just wonder when they're going to make her lose the title.
I don't know, dude. If she ever comes up to Raw or SmackDown.
Or she, somehow somebody wrestles her and she comes to an injury. Oh, now we got an easy way to get the title off of her.
Yeah.
But I feel like for that match, I'm a big Becky Lynch fan. I have a Becky Lynch shirt from when I went to Raw and SmackDown back whenever she was first on the main roster. So for me personally, I want maybe Becky Lynch, but I feel like her heat for the man starting to slow down, especially off the heels of her boyfriend, Seth Rollins not having a title anymore. So for me, I want to see Belly win the match because I don't want to see Belly just get the title.
I completely agree. I know there's someone's breaking into your car, Chris. Chris, don't let them steal. Chris, you got stuff in that car. Your switch is in that car, Chris. You save it.
It's not my car. It's always my dad. He digs in his pockets where his keys are. He wears these tight pants, and he hits the keys, and it always goes off. Okay, there it's done.
Papa Levi bumping his keys. The
But
car is lit.
yeah, what do you think about the women's match or anything?
I fucking hate Bailey, like with a passion.
Explain me that. Why?
Why do I hate Bailey? First of all, I hate her face. We'll start there. I really just
You have no
dislike
chance
it.
with Jake and Bailey. No chance.
No chance in hell. That's what you got. She is just like unpleasant to look at. And I know that's superficial and everything, but damn it, that's part of wrestling. That's part of being on television. You are not supposed to hurt my eyes when I look at you. That's not why I pay for WWE Network. Damn it.
Well, go look at Shayna Baszler then.
Yeah. Oh, she's not that bad. She's not, she got,
Well, then you got the man,
she's all right.
the man
She's
Becky
not the
Lynch.
bad. Yeah, she's kind of pretty. Not good. It's not what we're here to talk about. Besides, Alexa, if you're listening, I'm sorry. I didn't mean
You,
it.
you can have Alexa. I'll go for Mandy Rose.
Okay. But yeah, I hated her whole like Lego movie hugs bullshit. Hated it with a passion. And then when she made the switch, it just felt so disingenuous.
Yeah,
And
I can feel you on that.
I just don't like her, dude. I don't like anything
Because
about her.
I can feel you on the disingenuous part because she comes out there, she does her heel thing, right? Her heel turn, cool. But then you compare her up with Sasha so fast, and then you have Sasha behind her, kind of like Sasha's getting overshadowed by her. But then it's like Sasha's like, oh, and it's like Sasha's being the one to like make her this way. And then I feel like one day they're gonna have their little thing down the road where they butt heads again. WWE does the same thing. Oh, what's having butt heads again? Put her back face. Now she had a feud with Sasha. Yeah, they had some great matches. We made some money. Cool.
Yeah, dude. I the women's division is kind of they need to get their shit together
Yeah.
because the Sasha Banks, the man, and freaking Natalia and Flair,
Yeah.
they're like at the top, right? And so,
I mean,
but
I mean,
there's a lot of better wrestlers like down underneath them that just haven't gotten the chance yet. I feel.
yeah. It's like I follow a lot of wrestlers on social media because I mean I've unfollowed a lot, but back in the day, whatever, before got bigger and doing what I do now, I used to follow a lot of wrestlers, just because like there's somebody I like, follow 'em. And I see like a lot of posted like on Twitter and Instagram like this. You'll see people like Sarah Logan and like Mandy Rose and all these going out there doing these big picking up these big weights. And I'm not saying that it's I'm watching them pick up big weights, but you see them actually going out to these gyms and taking the time to do this stuff and all this stuff. But yeah, you see them in no big storyline, no nothing like this. Alexa Bliss, she's one of the best wrestlers that they got as a woman. Yeah, she had her injury a couple years ago, but she came back and showed she could still wrestle after it, after she got healed up with the concussion and all that. But it's like you don't have her in this match. I feel like it would have been better if it would have been the man, Alexa Bliss and Shayna Baszler.
Oh yes, Alexa Bliss is a 10. Not just in her mic skills, man or woman, top tier.
I
She's like sassy and like she's kind of a bitch, but like in like a endearing kind of way.
yeah
She's like, "Did you get my coffee? Where's my coffee?" Stuff
yeah
like that.
yeah because women in WWE, that's one thing. Women in WWE, they have brought up their wrestling game. They do get showcased more in bigger matches, but they haven't all brought up like, oh, we're on the bigger plate. Now we're wrestling more. Yay, we can show off our skills, but they haven't been like Alexa Bliss or the man or certain other people to bring their mic skills up because Nikki Cross, even Belly, even Sasha Banks, their mic skills don't sound as good as them two.
And you know who's like has a really annoying mic skills, and they gave her like a nice little arc with the man was Lacey Evans.
Yeah, the
Like,
sassy Southern Belle.
you, let me tell you something. You're not a lady. Like, oh my god. can the stereotype shut the fuck up, please? So annoying. Let me tell you something. It's like you're probably from fucking North Dakota. Why don't you
North
shut
Dakota,
up?
man.
You're probably from fucking North Dakota there, buddy. How about you shut your fucking face there, Lacey Evans?
Yeah.
It's like with Kofi Kingston, we're like, what happened to your accent?
I remember watching that back in the day whenever Triple H looked at him. Aren't you from Jamaica? Well. And then Big Show and all them are looking at him like,
Whoa, guys, let's just calm down.
yeah. But I just
Enough out of you. What happened to
yeah.
your accent?
But hopefully y'all are enjoying the podcast. We're going to talk about one more match and then kind of talk about some things we're hyped up for the rest of the year in gaming to end things off. If y'all want to ask any questions, go ahead. We're probably going to be here for about the next 15 minutes because I don't want to keep us too long. But now we've got the match that I feel like this guy, one of my favorites of all time, is going to lose. We got Rey Mysterio coming off an injury, which I knew was totally fake because whenever he had that thing on his arm and he threw it off and hit Brock Lesnar with a chair, hell, he didn't say ow, he just went, ooh, you know?
It's a miracle. It's a Christmas miracle.
And the way that bandage was put on him was so like janky. It was like, oh, you don't have it wrapped around the right way, but you're gonna sit there and throw it off. Versus Brock Lesnar, the man that has the advocate, Paul Heyman, not a manager. He's an advocate, Paul Heyman. What do you think about that big title match for the world heavyweight?
I think Rey Mysterio is going to get his punk ass taken to Suplex City. It's going to be bad, dude. I think he's going to get destroyed. I feel bad for Rey Mysterio. I think it's going to be not as bad as the Kofi Kingston situation. I think he's going to get his ass beat for a little bit longer.
Yeah. I got a question just to insert this. Did you ever watch any UFC?
I'm a big UFC fan, actually.
What do you think about them bringing in Cain Velasquez, having that match with Brock Lesnar, and then we don't hear a peep from him?
Yeah, it's for the Universal Championship or whatever, and then he loses.
Yeah, and right leading up to the match, they said, "Oh, he signed this big couple-year contract and all this. Now he's gonna be here for a long time. So there might be hope for him to win the title." No.
Oh no, I watched that Cain Velasquez Brock Lesnar fight live. That was an ass whooping. Brock Lesnar could not take him down. He couldn't punch him. He literally got taken down, and then Cain Velasquez was on top of him and just beat the shit out of him. And Brock Lesnar was helpless. It was the only time in my life where I've ever seen him really just get dominated by a dude that didn't look like he should have even been in the ring with him. As Cain Velasquez is not physically impressive or anything like that.
And the only reason I feel like they did that is they did the move where he came and did like got his arm and then won the match. And I feel like the only reason is that Vince McMahon is probably sitting back there, Rey Mysterio, run out there. We don't need him to look like a bitch. We don't need him to look like a bitch. Go out there. Use a chair. Well, I'm in this. Well, okay, do it. Pay me money. I'll do it.
Yeah, dude. I don't know.
Yeah, and the whole storyline from what I see whenever I watch, because one of my favorite YouTube channels is watching Wrestle Talk or like Cultaholic or something like that. Is they're supposedly trying to get this work in down the road, have his son debut, and because they're like, well, I'm back in WWE. My son, I want to have the access to the Performance Center. I want him to debut for the WWE. And I'm like, still, Rey Mysterio, you're one of the greatest of all time, and you put him against Brock Lesnar, and he's gonna get thrown around like a rag doll. And then you're going to be said and done, and then you're going to wait a couple months, find somebody bigger to probably face Brock Lesnar for something at Royal Rumble or WrestleMania, and until he gets ready to retire down the road. And I just don't like it.
No, dude, it's really annoying. They just give him whatever he wants.
And I don't want to go on a tangent before we get out of here, but if anybody got any questions, feel free to ask, and then we're going to get, because it wouldn't, is what I feel like about Brock Lesnar is that I see where his money is. He's got money. He's got popularity. He comes in there. He's a present force. But it's just that WWE has to get he's never ever since he started winning titles since his return. He's never gone a year without a title. He's always made sure to have either change the Universal or the WWE Championship, and he gets to do what he wants. And if he loses it, he gets to get it back really quick and mess up somebody's whole total reign. And it's like, oh yeah, Seth Rollins beat it, but it means nothing now, nothing anymore. And it's just like, come on. It's like you had this big thing with Seth Rollins going in these long matches, and then you have Seth Rollins in a short match to lose title, and it's just like you defeat these characters so bad, and it's just like Brock Lesnar is the worst champion I see across the board, because if you're a champion, you're supposed to be promoting the brand, be the brand bearer, be able to hold the brand, and not while you're there at the show, but also when you're not away from the show. Be these people that go out there, do these interviews, because that's how it was back in the day. That's how it is for like AEW. Why they got Chris Jericho as champion? Not because they think he should be the champion, but because he can put the brand on his back and go around the world when he wrestles a few times a year in New Japan, promote the company, when he can go around and do all these things and talk like this way to these people at Comic Cons and all these stuff, and he's doing it to help the brand. When Jay Lethal was champion in ROH, he did it to help the brand. Nick Aldis in NWA is helping the brand. It's like you've got Brock Lesnar, and it's just like sour taste in people's mouth because they want a champion that's there every week, but yet he gets to say when he wants to be there. And why did they get him off of SmackDown so fast? Because Fox wanted a champion that was there. They paid money and said, we want to pay money to have Brock Lesnar here be champion. And they found some loophole in the contract to put him back on Raw, where he's on the USA Network. And the USA Network is like, well, we're always going to have Raw here because we already paid our money. So Brock Lesnar can do what he wants now.
Yeah.
And it just pisses me off. But
no,
yeah,
dude, sorry.
No, you can go ahead.
I completely understand. He's like the opposite of John Cena. Like, John Cena was the ultimate, like, he carried the WWE for a long time. In a lot of regards, in terms of like you'll never see someone that was on as many morning talk shows and like late night talk shows and stuff like that as John Cena. And then even when he made his transition into Hollywood, who I would say has had arguably, besides The Rock, he has had the most success transferring over into the film industry.
Yeah.
As he has been in some fairly successful movies, and he does have an interesting on-screen like persona, I guess. But he was the WWE from like 2009 to 2015.
Well, it was more or less like 2000 and like because he debuted in like 2002 or 2003 whenever he had that match with Kurt Angle, and like there's only one wrestler that has been in WWE as long as John Cena has, and that's Randy Orton. And John Cena was there, and he went against the old guard, which was the people that were still there from the Attitude Era. He went against his era, which was him, Batista, Brock Lesnar, all came up, Shelton Benjamin, which was they called Ruthless Aggression. Then he went through the PG era. Now, and he even was at the start of this new era. And John Cena is whether you hate him or not, even if you consider him only 5 moves to doom, he did everything he needed to. Morning talk shows, radio shows, go to the wrestling show, do my show, go leave that, wake up, go do the talk, go do three or four different talk shows for the late night stuff, go do this, and promote the company in a positive way. Go do, and while doing all that, making sure between me going from this radio station to that radio station, taking a drive 5 miles down the road to go do the Make-A-Wish thing for this kid, and nobody else can top that.
Yeah. For sure. Brock Lesnar does literally none of that. He's an asshole, and nobody likes him.
Yeah, and I just feel like like they could solely use him in a different way, like pay him money and say, hey, why don't you be more like a Braun Strowman type dude? Be there a little bit more often. Maybe you don't have the title on you, but you can still go out there and have the big matches you want and face who you want. but just don't put a title on because it just it devalued the Universal title so much that it's like, is it even worth going for? I'd rather, if I was a wrestler, I'd been like, I want to go for the Intercontinental Universal title. Why go for that? Because when you're going to put me in a squash match, even if I know I physically can't beat Brock Lesnar because he's an imposing force, you're not going to let me even get anything in.
Yeah.
Now going to I asked the chat any questions they got, and Brian Philosophy said, "Hey, Chrislevi13, do you think you could ask Jakin to say hi to me?"
That's a no-go.
It's a no-go area.
I'm sorry, it's against my religion. And I would very much like to say hello to him, as he does seem like a nice young gentleman. Unfortunately, my dog would make me sleep outside if I said hello to Brian. So I can't do it. I like my bed.
That dog would be like, "Hey, you said hi to who?" Brian's Philosophy. My Brian, man. It's like, oh no. Oh, you get out of here.
Well, my dog's aggressive, dude. He'd be like, "Who did you just say hello to?" I'm like, "Brian's." He's like, "Who?" I'm like, "Brian's Flossy." He's like, "Are you kidding me right now?"
Stitch said they could just pay to hit the pay to hit the ring post. I'd be okay with it. Jakin doesn't speak to the peasant here in chat. How does it feel to be on screen with a man sculpted from clay by the gods? How does it feel? Because we got a couple more minutes. We're gonna be here. I think it's pleasure to be here in his presence after and him to say, hey, you're doing all right in Pokemon compared to whenever I play him with Smash and he has to get me with platforms and keep every character I try down, especially with Palutena, because I think that's more annoying than your Joker.
All right, dude. I don't have to use the platforms, but it is a lot funnier. So.
Yeah, because, man, on the platforms, I can't do what I do. You can't beat Bowser the way that I beat Bowser. He uses big power moves.
Yeah, it's hilarious to me.
I try to do my kicks. No, there's a platform. Try to do my little drop down thing. No, platform. Try to do my spin. No, platform.
Yeah, it's great. I love it so much.
Oh, he said you had a decent Palutena.
It's okay. I haven't played Smash Brothers in like 2 weeks, dude. I probably don't remember how to play.
I haven't picked since I last played Zelda on stream. That's probably the last time I picked up another game on the Switch since Pokemon. But yeah, thank you all for being here in chat. I just want to give Jakin anything any games you're looking forward to, anything you're hyped out for the rest of the year wrestling, gaming, anywise. Did you like to say for the chat before we get out of here?
No, dude, I don't think so. I mean, I'm ready for Black Friday. I'm gonna hopefully get some good games that I've been holding off on, and I hope everybody in chat has the opportunity to do the same. And I think we're all living in a great time, and we should all enjoy the games we have. And
yeah, I mean,
don't play your backlog.
Yeah.
I don't condone playing your backlog.
I got a big backlog on it when it comes to the Xbox, because like the Nintendo Switch, I got it this year, and I just like Fire Emblem, Astral Chain, this game, Pokemon. And I'm just like, Xbox. What have you done on the Xbox? Gears 5 and Borderlands and the Outer Worlds. Nothing else. Not even the games that they give me on there, because they give you so many games now. The Xbox is just like, here, have these games. We're third party games, but have them.
We're third party games,
but have them. Yep. You got Game Pass. Have this game. Have these two high profile games that came out this year. Because that surprised me when they put Devil May Cry 5 and Metro Exodus, 2 high profile games. Oh, now you get them basically free to play.
I have not played them either. I never played them. I have them downloaded.
They're both decent games. But yeah, so I thank everybody for being here. I really think you have fun, Jakin?
Yeah, dude, this was fun. I rarely get to talk wrestling. The only other person that I talk wrestling with is the person that I watch every WWE pay-per-view with, and that is Nintendo Direct, that I know he wishes he could have been here.
Yeah, man. Well, if you next time you speak to him, if he's ever off on a Wednesday or whatever day I do this on, feel free to hit him up. And even like I've told people, I mean, I've reached out to a few people that I maybe, hey, even if you can't be on it, I could do a premiere of this and reach out and, hey, we could do a pre-recorded podcast, because I want to get people on here that have fun, enjoy talking stuff, because I want to be honest with you all. I was nervous about doing this, but with people like Stitched and other people like my buddy Logan and T Belly and people in the community saying, "Hey, go do it." We like what you do on podcasts. It's just sometimes you don't always get to speak your mind on the podcast because sometimes you get over talked by other people, and you don't try to insert yourself. But I'm trying to be respectful to the people and the people who do the podcast. You know, they want to hear more of my opinions, and I'm like, should I do this? And I was nervous about it, but they're all like, hey, it's positive this, and I'm glad that you wanted to be. We're one of the first people that said, hey, when you heard about it, saying, hey, I'd like to be on here. We got a good time for you to be on here, and definitely in the future, you will be on here again, as well as maybe if there's anybody else out there that hears this, you want to be a guest, maybe become in the future become a co-host. I can't sit there and say specifically. I can say, hey, every Wednesday we do a show because of my work. Sometimes I work 12 to 9 on Wednesdays. That's because I work in retail, so I have to deal with that. But it's fun being here this Wednesday. I'm going to get off here, play some Pokemon, and all that jazz. But anything you want to say before you get out of here, Jacob?
Nah, dude. If you have not already, like and subscribe to this man's channel.
Yeah, on the road to 1K subscribers.
Road to 1K. He's been at it. He's been on that grind for a while.
Yeah.
Let's get this man there. I'm going to subscribe on my other channel. I'm going to start making soccer accounts and get you those numbers, boy.
But as soon as all this stuff comes up in January, they're going to be like, oh, stock count. No.
Yeah.
That's a whole rabbit hole you could dive down in right there.
Let's not.
I've still got to talk with like a lot of people in the community about that stuff, so like we can make sure we're all covered. But that's something that we'll do off camera, on one of those late nights because we're all going to have to talk about it, But with that being said, thank you all, Stitched, Brian, everybody else that stopped by, V-Sips, all of that stuff. Go subscribe to each other's channel, like each other's content because we only grow. It's not just us making growing by, hey, we promote stuff, but we've also got to make sure that our friends grow alongside us because you don't want to sit there and get this big number and be by yourself and not know how to handle. I want people to be there with me.
Brian wants me to mention I also have a channel. So if you want to come hang out sometime.
If you want to go hang out sometime, go check out Jake. And he does so it's similar streams to kind of the streams I do. Just laid back playing games on his Xbox or Switch. He does have a little bit of a problem right now that he's gonna try to get fixed so he can actually be able to stream a little bit more. If you want to talk about that, you're able to tell people why. But he did say he might do a stream throughout the holiday season where he does like a Q&A.
Yeah, and Brian wants a hair flip. You want? All right, let's see here. Let's see if I can do this.
Let me do this right here. For anybody that's trying to do that eye, Jake and
Oh my God.
Let me do this right here.
The hair. It's a double-sided. It's a double-sided sword. As I cannot.
That's a link that I did earlier this year. Back whenever I first got my Switch and we played a lot of Mario Kart, and he just was sitting there laughing me.
It's still true. I will
Man,
body anyone in this chat.
Has anybody even played Mario Kart recently? Because I don't ever see anybody get on that game anymore because of Smash It and Pokemon and everything.
I haven't played in a minute, but I have faith in my abilities. We can play Mario Kart sometime, Chris, if you want.
Yeah, man, we might have to have a community night where we just get like all our games, man, and just say, hey, here's Smash Brothers. But every community night, it usually comes down to Smash Brothers because everybody has that. But I like to see some other games thrown out there. But I appreciate y'all here being for the 4th episode of the Vault 13 Buggy. I don't know if it'll be able to be next week, obviously because I work that week and work that later shift that night. But if I do it, it'll be a solo show for about an hour. If I do it by myself, the show's going to be an hour. If it's with somebody, it will be between an hour and 2 hours. We're hitting that 2-hour mark right now. I want to say thank you to him for being on the podcast. And I want to say this really quickly just to let everybody know. I really appreciate him not only being on the podcast, meeting him through YouTube and other people in the Chills cast and all that, but for more importantly, becoming my friend this last year, and us just growing. You are one of the people I feel closer to in the whole community of things, and I really appreciate it, Jason.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you.
But yeah, everybody, thank you all for being here. And I'm going to go play some Pokemon. And yeah, I might even in an hour or two stream it if y'all would like to see that. If y'all want to, give me a hell yeah in the next couple of moments. And yeah, I'm gonna get out of here.
To do it. Give me a hell yeah.
Okay, so I think go for